Okay, so I'm on the bus from New York back to. I live in Cambridge, Massachusetts now, and I'm on the bus, and the bus driver's sort of ranting about his job and how he's so unhappy and how all his managers are jackasses and stuff. And I'm sitting in the front seat, and then he says, I bet none of this really applies to you at all because you're like a college student or something. And I said, no, I graduated. And he was like, oh, you did, and what did you get your degree in? And so I told him, and then he said, um, and then he asked me if I had a job, and I said, no, I graduated in 2008, and I still don't have a job yet. And he said, well, that's interesting because you spent so much money paying for tuition and room and board and books and reading things that people wrote and writing about it and talking about it. And, well, he didn't, and he has a job, and he wanted to know, well, was it even really worth it? And so I left and went to the bathroom. Well, my advisor said the only jobs in American studies are teaching American studies and getting other people to study American studies. At first it was kind of bizarre, and you're sort of trapped in your own little world. You get invested in a routine, like, you wake up early in the morning, you do your homework, you can read every article in the New York Times, and I know nobody really likes to hang out with themselves all the time, but you can really see who you are and what you like to do. When our dad retired, it was kind of cool because, it was like we were both retired, except for that I haven't done anything yet, and he just finished doing a big something. Actually, a lot of my friends whose parents have just retired, they also compare themselves to having just retired themselves because, they have these similarities. We just finished school, and for them, they just finished this career, and, like, what do you do next? Obviously, you're still alive, so you should be doing something like making a living or, something interesting, but, you just don't know because there's so many different things that you could possibly be doing. I was channel flipping, and, so I was like, oh, Felicity Huffman, she's so awesome. She was in that Aaron Sorkin show, Sports Night. That's awesome. I should totally watch this. And then I watched half the show and realized that it was Desperate Housewives. And that's a promise that I've made to myself, that I will never sink so low as to watch Desperate Housewives. Right now I'm at the point where I'll take a job that's like part-time and like an assistant at like a museum or like a nonprofit or something, but I haven't quite gotten to the point where I'm comfortable being a college graduate and a master's student and working at McDonald's. Like, I'm not quite that desperate. Once you graduate and there are no guide rails, like, first of all, how do you know where to go? But second of all, like, how do you know, like, we've spent so long, like 2 years without jobs, how do we know we're even going to be qualified for jobs once we finally get, interviewed and hopefully, get a job? How do we know we'll be able to hold on to a full-time job because we just maybe aren't qualified because we had this pathetic break for 2 years where we haven't been exposed to the type of work that is required in a full-time position, which is probably too bad. And some people would say that maybe it'll fuck us up for life, but I sort of hope that won't maybe be true. I mean, I think it was good. I think the one big thing that you learn about at college is critical thinking and learning how to put together, like, a well-written, like, defense of something. Like, you have a theory and you want to present that, and that's what you learn in college. I mean, it's not really just about reading all the books and, all the statistics from whatever class and, all these theories. It's about being able to put together a defense, like an idea, and present it clearly. And I feel like that is applicable no matter where you go. I mean, I obviously don't have a job right now, but it's definitely worth it to me if I'm hanging out with my friends and I want to make a good argument about something. I can do that to these people. And then hopefully when I do get a job, they'll see that, I was educated and can, write clearly and think well about some. That was the worst sentence ever. Obviously, I didn't learn too much at college after all.